In the heart of this emotionally charged episode of One Day at a Time, the narrative shifts from the surface-level anxieties of wedding preparations into one of the most profound and realistic conflicts of the entire script: fundamental disagreement between Anne Romano and David Kane regarding the possibility of having additional children. This section, which can aptly be titled The Children Question, stands as a masterful exploration of clashing life stages, gendered expectations, and the hard realities of second marriages in 1970s America. The writers handle this delicate subject with remarkable sensitivity, blending sharp dialogue, raw vulnerability, and gentle humor to create a sequence that feels both intimately personal and culturally significant. The transition into this central conflict occurs naturally after a tender make-up moment between Anne and David. Having just reconciled from a minor quarrel, the couple shares a quiet, hopeful conversation about their future in California. David paints an idyllic picture of their new life, mentioning the beautiful surroundings and a terrific preschool nursery nearby. At first, Anne listens with warmth, assuming he is speaking about opportunities for Julie and Barbara. The moment David clarifies that he is referring to the new ones that you and I are gonna have marks a pivotal turning point in the episode. The script captures Anne's dawning realization with perfect comedic timing and emotional precision. Her surprise is palpable even in the raw transcript. What follows is an extended, increasingly intense conversation that reveals the depth of the couple's unspoken assumptions. David expresses his desire to start with a boy, noting that since they already have 2 girls, it would create a perfect balanced family. He is willing to compromise from his original vision of 3 children down to 1 or 2. His language is filled with hopeful, traditional, paternal longing. "A man wants his own children," and his charming reference to wanting a little Xerox of myself in an age of copying machines. These lines beautifully encapsulate the mindset of many men of that era who viewed biological fatherhood as an essential part of masculine fulfillment and legacy. David is not portrayed as unreasonable or demanding, but as a man who genuinely loves Anne and sees children as a natural extension of their union. Anne's response, however, unveils the profound differences in their life experiences. At 35 years old, having given birth to Julie at 18 and spent nearly half her life raising children, Anne articulates a powerful desire for personal autonomy. She explains that Julie and Barbara are now practically independent, and for the first time she has the chance to begin to raise myself. This declaration is one of the most resonant lines in the entire script. It captures the essence of the feminist awakening of the 1970s. The idea that a woman's life should not be defined solely by motherhood, especially after she has already fulfilled that role through challenging circumstances. The script gives Anne the space to voice her exhaustion with the months of Blimptham night feedings and the all-consuming nature of early parenthood, while also acknowledging David's supportive offer to shoulder much of our burden. The dialogue crackles with authenticity as the disagreement escalates. Anne's frustration peaks when she realizes David assumed she would want more children without ever discussing it openly. Her sharp retort that he will have to settle for a goldfish playing Little League injects much-needed humor into the rising tension, preventing the scene from becoming overly melodramatic. Yet beneath the wit lies genuine pain. The daughters, Julie and Barbara, overhear the conversation and innocently express excitement about having a new sibling, which only intensifies Anne's sense of being pressured. The peanut gallery comment from Anne reveals her feeling of being ganged up on by the very people she loves most. This moment brilliantly illustrates the complexities of blended families, where well-intentioned enthusiasm from children can inadvertently add emotional weight to an already delicate situation. The writers demonstrate exceptional skill in balancing perspectives. David is never villainized for wanting children. His longing is presented as natural and heartfelt. Conversely, Anne's reluctance is not framed as selfish but as a legitimate boundary born from lived experience. This even-handed approach was relatively rare in 1970s television, which often defaulted to more traditional resolutions favoring marriage and motherhood. By allowing both characters to articulate their positions with conviction and vulnerability, the script achieves remarkable emotional depth. When David mentions a woman who had a baby at 74 years old, Anne's exasperated reaction underscores the vast difference between theoretical possibilities and the physical and emotional reality she has already endured. This sequence also offers rich historical context for understanding the era. The 1970s marked a significant shift in American family dynamics. Divorce rates were rising, The women's liberation movement was challenging traditional gender roles, and many women were delaying or limiting childbirth to pursue education and careers. Anne Romano embodied this cultural transition, a divorced single mother who had entered adulthood early through teenage pregnancy and was now, in her mid-30s, finally claiming space for her own growth. The conflict over children thus becomes a microcosm of larger societal debates about reproductive choice, gender equality, and the evolving definition of family. The inclusion of the daughters in this conversation adds another layer of generational insight. Julie and Barbara's excitement about a baby sister reflects their youthful optimism and perhaps their own subconscious desires for a more traditional family structure. Their intervention, though well-meaning, highlights the challenges single mothers face in balancing their children's emotional needs with their own personal boundaries. The script handles these family dynamics with nuance, showing how love within a family can sometimes create pressure rather than purely support. As the argument intensifies, we see Anne's character at her most complex. She is simultaneously defensive, apologetic, loving, and resolute. Her admission that she feels she is being pushed, followed by David's insistence that they are merely discussing, captures the subtle ways communication can break down even in loving relationships. The decision to excuse the girls, so they can argue privately, demonstrates mature parenting while also allowing the adult conflict to unfold without censorship. This privacy enables the conversation to reach its emotional peak, setting the stage for the even more devastating confrontation that follows. Throughout this extended scene, the quality of the writing shines through in the naturalistic flow of dialogue and the careful modulation of emotional intensity. The humor never fully disappears, references to Cheaper by the dozen, and the goldfish playing Little League provide necessary breathing room, but it serves the deeper thematic purpose rather than undermining it. The script's willingness to linger in discomfort, to let the characters disagree passionately without immediate resolution, marks it as sophisticated storytelling for its time. This exploration of the children question represents one of the episode's greatest strengths. It transforms what might have been a simple romantic obstacle into a profound meditation on life stages, personal sacrifice, and the right to redefine one's future. Anne's stance is not anti-family, but pro-self-determination. A message that carried powerful resonance for divorced women and working mothers in 1970s America. David's desire, meanwhile, humanizes him as a man confronting the reality that love sometimes requires compromise on fundamental dreams. By the end of this sequence, the audience is left with a deep appreciation for the complexity of human relationships. The script refuses easy answers, instead presenting a situation where both parties have valid perspectives shaped by their unique histories. This nuanced approach to conflict is what elevated One Day at a Time above many of its contemporaries, offering viewers not just entertainment but genuine insight into the joys and struggles of modern family life. The emotional groundwork laid in this part of the episode pays rich dividends as the story progresses. The children question becomes the catalyst that forces Anne to confront larger truths about her readiness for marriage and her need for independence. In doing so, the writers create a narrative that feels authentic to the human experience while remaining thoroughly entertaining through sharp character work and relatable domestic drama. This sequence stands as a testament to the show's enduring appeal and its brave willingness to tackle substantive issues within the framework of classic sitcom humor.